is Ivan Ivanov, and you are watching UFO Disclosure Bulgaria. We have the documents. We have the witnesses. True stories about UFOs, visitors from outer space, and other worlds.
Yeah, of course. Can you start in the beginning with how exactly everything that happened with you? What happened?
Oh, okay. Well, from the beginning with me, the first thing was when I was 9 years old. I witnessed a red ball of light, and it would follow me down the road. It would stop, and I would stop, and it would continue, and I would continue. It was incredible. It lasted maybe 4 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. It's hard to tell when you're 9 years old and you see something like this. For me, that's the one thing out of my whole first 10 years of my life, the first decade, that I remember.
Have you been scared?
And I'll never, ever forget it.
Have you been scared
Oh.
of this?
Okay. Once the action builds up and you have... Okay. There's a part of this topic called high strangeness. And now once you immerse yourself into the topic of high strangeness surrounding UFOs, and not just surrounding UFOs, but there's other things as well. Some people could call them spirits. Some people could call them, entities, whatever the case may be. But there's life forms all around us, I believe personally. All around the universe. I believe it permeates through maybe good and bad, like here on Earth. They're not all good. Now, I know this for sure. Through observation, and 32 years of observation. Now, for me, personally, the red ones, the red balls of light, and sometimes the orange balls of light, they're not the best guys in the world that you want following you. Now, I've witnessed these guys, and I do a lot of composite photography and a lot of star trail photography and whatnot. And when I was 12, we witnessed a red ball of light above the backyard in Western Sydney, and it would fly around, it would stop, and then it would go over this way, and then my brothers and I, we watched this light flying around the top of us, and we were camping out in the backyard looking up at the sky, and it was a hot night, and we're just talking, and then all of a sudden a blue ball of light has come into play, and it started chasing the red ball of light around the sky. So, and we're watching, going, oh my God, this is incredible, and you don't see this that often,
Yeah.
And then the next second, a yellow-green ball of light has come in as well. And it seemed to be backing up the blue ball of light. And both of the balls of light then started chasing the red ball of light around the sky. Now, they were chasing it vast distances, then stopping
How you
at the drop
feeling
of a
that
hat.
time?
Going, right? No?
How you feeling that
Incre-
time? What do you say? What is that?
Oh, it's, okay. I guess when you're younger, you think differently about these things, and you process the thoughts differently as well. It's when you get older, you definitely do start to think about it in a different way. The more information that you glean from the subject, the more you can understand it a lot more. But at the same time, anybody who tells you in this whole world that they know what this phenomenon is full of themselves. Because nobody knows what this phenomenon is. Nobody. I'll tell you that now. And people can say, oh, it's aliens, it's little green men, or little grey men, or whatever the case is. And they may be right to a point, but I believe there's more to it than that. There's much more to it than that. To me, the way they act around us, and the way they observe us and watch, and the way they come down, and the times they come down, if you look at the times they come down to Earth, whenever we're getting together massive military operations, anybody, when the Russians are getting together, when the Americans are doing military operations, UFOs come. Okay. Now they're very interested in our technology. They have been throughout history, back to the Foo Fighters, even well before that.
Yeah.
All throughout history in here. Now, Wonders in the Sky is a good book by Jacques Vallée. If you want to go into some possible sightings all throughout history that have been gleaned from history, if you look at them all very closely, they're pretty much the same as they are today, just slight variations on some of the craft or objects that we're seeing.
Have you get messages from them?
Okay, no. When I say, when you say messages, you mean like they talk into your brain?
Telepathy, contact
Ah,
something.
okay. Now, when I was living in Dunedoo 8 years ago, a couple of times we'd get a feeling. I'd get a feeling, or whoever was with my father, sometimes we get a feeling to come outside. We go outside. It's more than a feeling. It's very difficult to explain, but it's more than a feeling. It's like a knowing.
Yeah.
Know to go outside, right? And so you go outside, and then sure enough, not every time, but 7 out of 10 times, there'll be something hovering nearby. Sometimes you can feel these things, the energy that they're giving off if they're close. They affect birds, animals, and the electrical environment around us as well. So there's a theory that they're giving off ionizing radiation, which is causing them to react with the oxygen, which is causing the glow. You know, the different types of glows that they're having around the objects. And there's reports of them going into water. You know, I have footage of a ball of light hanging above the water and then flying down an angle into the water, leaving no splash whatsoever. So they don't affect the earth. I've seen them fly into the ground. I've had people around me witness long shafts of light fly into the ground right next to my hand, you know, and disappear, melt into the ground and gone. I mean, how can you explain something like that? It's quite amazing and quite impressive. You know, it's one of those things. Is afterwards, oh my god! You know? But you're still left very confused because you didn't have them come down and say, shake your hand and say, hi, my name is, and I come from this planet, or I come from here or there. You know, they don't do that sort of stuff. It's very, very rare. They seem to come down to warn us about nuclear weapons or to follow our military operations, like I was saying, and then maybe glean where we are, what we're doing, what we're thinking of doing next, if we're going to invade another country, what, you know, we're, as you know, right now, everyone around the world's on edge. We're all worried about coronavirus. We're all worried about going outside and getting sick or whatever the case is, you know. And it must create a very sort of unstable environment that these things, like emotions, you know, feelings, energies, all around us, us humans, you know. At the moment, these things, after 8 long years, are being spotted again in Dunedoo, New South Wales, here in Australia. After 8 long years, when I was there last, they're back again now. So I'm heading up this Tuesday to Dunedoo. I'm going to spend a few months there, and I'm going to be out in the backyard or wherever every night. I'm going to get some brilliant footage because I've got some really good equipment now, much better than what I had back then. Yeah. Excellent. I can hear now. Yep.
Yeah,
It stopped on my end. So.
Okay. I said you have a lot of
Excellent.
cameras.
I've got a couple. Yeah, good sir. Thank you, sir.
What do you think
Sir,
you have some mission?
It's hard not to feel that way. When you see object after object and the way they appear, the way they drag you outside sometimes, the games they play, the little things they do, it seems they have a sense of humor sometimes. And I mean, it's almost like they're playing with us. They don't want us to know exactly what they're doing, but at the same time, they don't really care if we see them that often, you know. But the funny thing is, what has always got me wondering is why, you know, I saw one when I was young, and I know like 32 years ago was my first sighting. So I've spent my life, you know, growing up telling people what I saw, or, you know, and my brothers and my father, they've seen them with me on multiple occasions, you know, so they know it's real, you know. So it's kind of like part of the family versus other part of the family. Some people think they're crazy or we're crazy or whatever the case is. Who knows? But the thing is, you have to see it with your own eyes to know that it's real. You can't, humans are liars. Not every human, but a lot of humans all lie, And this is something I've found in the UFO field more than any other field that I've worked in my entire life. And it's unfortunate, it's sad. I've tried to bring some honesty and a little bit of integrity to it. And, and for that, you're not always liked, or you thought of as, an enemy because he's not claiming he knows what it is, or he's not claiming this, or he's not claiming that. So his story is going to be boring, or whatever the case is. No, it's going to be truthful, and you're going to get what I know, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And if I don't know what it is, I'm going to say it. If I know what it is, I'm going to say it. But at the same time, like I said, if you think you know what it is in this phenomenon, you don't know what it is. At the end of the day, it's very. The more you think you're closer to the truth, the more you're actually further away from the truth. So you can't let yourself get comfortable and think, I know what this is. It's the Pleiadians from Pleiades, or it's the Orions, or it's these guys, it's these guys. They don't call themselves Pleiadians. We do. We call them Pleiadians. So they wouldn't call themselves Pleiadians and come down here and go, hey, guys, we're the Pleiadians. No. You call us Pleiadians. So there's little cults that start up from around the world with individual names. And I never wanted to be part of this, ever. And little cults of little personalities, little people with issues, and they want to be famous, or they want to be this or that. No, it's not about fame. There's no fame involved here. There's there's a million other things, but the infamy more than anything,
I think maybe your mission is to documentary all this, to filming, to have more facts, to have more videos, to have more pictures of that you seeing.
Yeah, well, that is the intent initially, was to get the better and keep on getting better quality footage, because that's what everybody wants at the end of the day. They want something that they can go, oh my God, that's undeniable, or it's been hoaxed. That's what they'll say. It's either, oh my God, that's a real UFO, without even seeing one with their own eyes.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's very important. You need to see them with your own eyes. Go into your backyard at nighttime, spend 2 hours in your backyard, look up at the sky. It might start off your journey, you never know, into seeing them. And believe me, it is a roller coaster ride from hell, this whole thing. It's insane. The people that get attracted to you, the people that, are interested in your work, you meet all sorts of people all around the world. It's incredible. This is my favorite part of it, but at the same time, you can't prove, like I said, you can't prove it to anybody. They need to see it with their own eyes, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, it was about getting better footage, but now I realize that no, I don't need to get better footage, because at the end of the day, I've seen, what happens. The better footage you got, the more it must be hoaxed or faked, because nowadays you can fake footage, or you could do stuff or whatever if you're skillful enough, right? So, of course, the skeptics are going to go straight to that and then brush your whole story off like it's nothing, Witnesses, hundreds of witnesses down the toilet, nothing. Hundreds of photographs, hundreds of videos down the toilet, see you later. Many, many tens of thousands of hours of work I've put in over the last 32 years. Many thousands, and that's not reading books about the subject. That's getting out there and amongst it, and, it's what we've all got to do. And there's some great groups out there, like Facebook groups, like in the field, the researchers in the field, ufology, and these guys are brilliant, head by a gentleman called Scott Brown, and I love these guys. They're awesome. It's one of the groups that I've been involved with from the start that, I'll never leave, because that's what I want. I want everybody to go outside and spend some time outside, and that's why here in Australia I'll get 30, 40, 50, 100 people for a sky watch, and we'll sit out and we'll watch the skies, and I want to get everybody to see what I'm seeing.
Right.
So the more people see what you're seeing, the less crazy in your head you are.
True.
Now, something that's, or that you'll think you are anyway, something that's very, I was contacted recently by a university in America, a very famous university, and they wanted to know about my brain. They're doing a test, a study into human brains of so-called experiencers, contactees, whatever the case is, whatever you want to call yourself. But apparently they've found that a certain part of the brain in people like me who see regular anomalous occurrences, or semi-regular, whatever you want to call it, people like me have a certain part of our brain that are lit up, that are not lit up in the general population of people. So something like maybe 2% or 1% of the Earth's population, much less than that even,
Right.
have this lit up. We don't know yet. So they're doing is studies, and they're going to do tests, MRI scans on our brains and stuff like that. And to qualify for the study, you have to have had at least 2 or 3 big UFO sightings with multiple witnesses, physical effects on the body, or camera, video footage with multiple witnesses, multiple times during your life. And that's just to get accepted into the study. So they called us up the other day. So it's very interesting. I'm finding it that part of it, I want to look for a different answer. Not just aliens, every route. Is it the human mind that's doing it? Is the human mind manifesting certain anomalous phenomena? That's what this university, big university, is looking into. And this is something I've asked years ago. Is it possible that we ourselves are creating this somehow? But if that's the case, how are we able to manifest a ball of light into a sky that can be seen by other people? So that's all something in your brain that's being seen by other people. Now, this part of it I find quite fascinating, and that's why I'm doing this, and I want to get to the bottom of it.
Do you think with your conscious, maybe you contact with them and they just show up?
It's quite a possibility. It's quite a good possibility. I really don't know. I don't know. I've thought about them before, and they've never shown up. Never. I've thought, and I've sat in the room thinking, and then looked out the window for an hour, nothing. Or gone outside, nothing. Other times, I'll be just sitting there and looking at the television, and all of a sudden, I'll get up, walk to the door, look up, and it's sitting there. And sometimes
you feel that you have to leave the house.
Oh yeah, you don't even feel like you have to leave. You just get up and walk to the door and go outside. You don't even think sometimes. It's very bizarre. I've gone out the back and stood there, standing there for 20 minutes. Not even realise I was just sitting there, look up at the sky, and my dad's come out the back, looked up, and right above us in the backyard are 3 orange balls in a triangle twisting around like this. And then they stopped.
What the hell is that?
And then started moving across this way all at once, all 3 of them. And I don't know if they were 3 separate objects or if they're connected to the one triangular-shaped object. I'm not 100% sure. I never probably will be.
Which area of Australia is more, you have more activities of UFOs? Which area from Australia? You said you're going to Tornado, and you're right there now?
Dunedoo, yeah.
Tornado, yeah.
Dunedoo. It sounds very funny. It's a funny name. But it's a country town. There's under 1,000 people in the whole town, so there's not many people there. So everybody knows everybody. Everybody goes to bed very early at night, and as soon as the lights go out, and then the town lights go out as well. So the street lights, there's only a couple of street lights on in the main part of town. So everywhere's dark. Everywhere, all through town. So, and while everyone's making their dinner or everything, I'll go out there, and sometimes they'd show up early, 7 o'clock, 6:30, sometimes 9 o'clock, sometimes 2 in the morning, sometimes 11 at night. A lot of times they'd show up at 11:30ish, which is very strange. So everything, you write down notes, points, like a detective, trying to find places, trying to find objects that are the same that you photographed years apart, So you can say, okay, this is a definite object because I photographed it 7 times over my life. So it's come back 7 times. So it's a definite object. I can class that object myself. I can draw it, write it down, put, all the stuff on hard drives, everything, whatever the case is, and then say, okay, now there's certain anomalous phenomena associated with UFOs that I have been writing down for a while now and working on for about 3 years. And I've been working on a lot of composite photography, taking star trail photos and whatnot, and capturing some very anomalous phenomena going against the stars, different directions, all that sort of stuff. And I can't explain most of this at the moment. I really can't, because it's so much activity and so much stuff going on. Not in every photo or not in every thing that you film or whatever, but all up when you look at it and you think, okay, I know a 91-year-old lady who's never seen one UFO in her whole life, but she wants to. She's 91, nearly 100. She wants to see a UFO, and I want her to see one. That's my goal right now at the moment, in the next few days. So, but you can't. It's not up to you. I wish it were up to me.
Yeah.
But just it's something that when people experience the phenomena, they can feel very special, very egotistical about themselves. And I say, look, it's not about you. You're not special.
Yeah.
I know you like to think you are, but it's more to get other people to think they're special, so that they back up their own belief or whatever, or they fool people. Unfortunately, the whole world is full of UFO charlatans.
Yeah, it is.
And who are, they are. And a lot of these people I've met behind the scenes, I've met personally, or had them stay at my house or whatever, and found out that they're not the people who they claim to be on the TV, in front of all you. And to me, that disgusts me, and I've spoken up about it multiple times now. I'm not afraid of these people. I don't care what they say, think.
People is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that maybe Donedo is something special place for these activities of UFO?
I'd like to think it is because of the quietness of the town. But at the same time, over the last 8 years, my father, who's lived there continuously, I've been gone, but my father, who stayed there and lived there, he's seen one thing in 8 years, whereas we used to see things every second night when I was there. So now I'm coming back on Tuesday, and then hopefully with better equipment, better cameras, better night vision binoculars, the record much clearer and crisper. We'll capture better footage. I'm not worried. I don't care if I don't. Doesn't matter. I've got enough footage. I know myself. They're real, and I don't need to prove to anyone that they're real anymore. People need to prove that to themselves if they want it. At the end of the day, it's up to you.
Is there any historical in this small town? Something historical from ancient times?
Not that I know of. I've looked into it, but not that I can tell. But what I have found that right through Dunedoo is a massive trail of quartz crystal. So there's a huge vein that goes right through town. It goes through town and onto my uncle's property. So 20 kilometers plus, very big vein of massive. So, and what we'd see, not every time, but a lot of times, when we'd see the UFOs appear, the orange balls of light or the red balls of light or white balls of light, or other objects appear or shafts of light or whatever the case, when you'd see them appear, they would move across the crystal quartz vein. So they go in the direction where the crystal quartz was going through town. They'd follow it backwards and forwards. Very strange. And then they stop sometimes, and very unusual. So when you think, what's going on there? What's happening? What are they doing? Does that have something to do with the quartz vein, the crystal quartz? Because quartz it conducts electricity, can get it, when you cut quartz down and whatnot. So I know that other places of the world, colleagues as well, like in areas that are high with iron, areas that are high with quartzite crystals, all sorts of other things, anything like that, they seem to be repeat attractants for aerial phenomena, some type of aerial phenomena that seems to show up and move along. Are they getting energy from these crystals? Are they powering their ships? What are they doing? There's a theory that, because a lot of people know that they dive into the oceans and they dive into mountains and disappear with no sound whatsoever and just like melt into the mountain and they're gone. And I've seen this with my own eyes, and other people have too with me.
Really?
And also other objects appear in the sky out of nowhere, just take up a big ship and then move across, but they appear out of nowhere. And you see porthole windows across the thing, And so what? That's incredible. Like, how can this happen, So, yeah, man, it's just amazing, So it's one of those things you just got to say, okay, how do I prove this is not fake? You can't prove it's not fake. You can't prove it's not real. So you just got to put it out there. People will make their minds up in the end of the day. So that's all you can hope for.
Okay, do you know if in this area, wherever you are right now, have some kind of electromagnetic anomaly underground?
The area I'm in at the moment, quite possibly no. I'm in the city at the moment. But yeah, I mean, who knows what we've got under us, really.
Oh, okay.
If it has to do with that under us, or if it has to do with us, why they're here, I think it's a mixture. I think they're here for their own reasons. There's a theory as well, they go into the oceans because they use our water as a fuel source. There's a case here in Australia a few years ago, a very famous case up at Gosford, where a massive UFO came down, a very big ship, like out of the movies, came down, hovered above the water, and started sucking water up into it from the river, straight up into the UFO, and then as they're sucking it up, it's going up in streams like this, swirling up to the UFO. And then it was witnessed by hundreds of people over the course of the night. It was witnessed by hundreds of people.
What city was that?
Gosford.
Gosford.
Called Gosford. Gosford. Gosford.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So look that up. And Gosford UFO over water. Very interesting stuff. And in other cases around the world, the same thing. They've been seen sucking up water. Why? What are they doing?
I don't know. I don't know.
See, your answer's as good as mine.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no one is a real expert on UFOs. Anyone who claims they are not.
I mean, we learn from all this data, you collecting data with videos, with pictures. There's the people who has experiences meeting first kind, second, third kind, fifth kind, contacts with the extraterrestrials or another different kind of energies or entities, intelligence beings, and they get messages from them and they share the messages with us. So that is the way we can learn. Okay, what do you think about this? Who are they and why are they coming here?
Who are they and why are they coming here?
Huh?
I don't know. I'd love to be able to tell you, but I don't know.
Okay.
And even if I could tell you, they wouldn't let me tell you.
How? So maybe you know. Okay. All right. We can finish that video. Can you? Now you have a chance. I mean, Bulgarians who are going to watching that video. What you going to tell to them about your experiences?
What am I going to tell people who are watching the video about my experiences?
Yes.
Well, okay, my experiences, they've been fascinating for me and others who've seen them around me, but they wouldn't be too fascinating for other people unless, you've got an open mind and you believe or you already know they exist or whatever the case is. Most people don't, they exist 100%. So most people will go, okay, well, whatever, if I don't see it, I don't know, I'll just keep moving on with my life, That's a lot of people, and that's fair enough. That's understandable. We only get one short life on this earth, so we got to make the most of it, right? So, look, I believe that whatever they're doing, there's a mission going on, 100%. Going back since the early days, and if you follow ufology right from the beginning, from its very inception, these things seem to have been watching us, observing us, and now whether that denotes that they are some type of creator of us, I'm not sure. Did they make us? Why are they abducting us? Are they actually doing that stuff? Or is that in people's minds? Are they making people think that? Look at, in Dunedoo, I had 2 experiences which were very, 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 very strange. I woke up, I had 2 dreams which were so vivid in my imagination at the time and they were dreams involving aliens, okay? Aliens on ships, of all things. And it's so vivid and so real, that's what I can describe, real, so real. And that I woke up in my bed after the dream, and both times 2 months apart, 8 weeks apart, with these 2 marks on my left leg. The same marks, perfect circles. One was big, one was smaller. Now, I got photos of them as well, and it looked like somebody has sucked out the blood vessels out of a circle in my leg and put them to the surface of the skin, like spider veins kind of thing, in a tight little circle. It was the most bizarre looking thing I've ever had in my life. It's happened that twice. I've dreamt about being on a ship, even seeing beings walking around us, and there was 9 of us on this ship, and we were stuck on this black stuff, black cold goo or whatever it was, and it was down our back. And at the time I had a bit of long hair at the back, so I had a ponytail, and I could move my head, whereas others I could see couldn't move their head very much. So I could look over it this way a little bit, and I could see these other humans lying down on our backs. Everybody was naked, lying, and with beings walking around the perimeter part of this ship, while we're stuck in the bottom part, which is a conical part coming out of the bottom of the craft. It seemed like dipped in, like this. And we're stuck along the dips around the perimeter. So we can sort of see each other, but what I saw from everybody else, they had their eyes closed. And there was 8 men, 8 of us were men, and 1 woman. The woman looked like Kim Basinger, the actress from Hollywood, in the 80s, 1980s, with the long permed hair. Yeah, looked like Kim Basinger. Yeah, and it never happened to me ever before or ever after in the last 8 years since. Never once, but both times I woke up with marks on my leg. Now that, to me, that's out there. That's something that still stays with me because I can't explain that, but I try not to concentrate on that. I try to concentrate on actual evidence and data over guessing. I don't like to guess. Could it be this? Could it be that? Who knows? Blah, blah, blah. I've done a lot of guessing in my life. I realize you can't just keep guessing. At the end of the day, you need to find out what it actually is, get it out there to the people, whatever the case is. But it's not that easy. There seems to be somebody or something who wants to stop people like me getting out there and getting into the public and waking the human mind up and psyche up. It seems that they want other people to do it. Certain individuals or groups like TTSA, and maybe anything that's ex-government controlled, or who knows, or had anyone from the government working in it beforehand. And I've just had my website hacked a month ago, and we can't work out. Something or somebody has taken all my listings down off Google, detached them from my website, and then blocked us behind a firewall, saying that. So if you go on my website, www.aapi.info, you'll see that it's behind a security wall, and it says that somebody might be trying to access your system, blah, blah, blah. And nobody in the world can get onto the website. We've had people sending messages. My Facebook has gone. My Facebook pages have gone. Everything's gone. I can't do anything at the moment. I just got my normal Facebook back, and it took days and days and days. So there's something strange going on lately. Just last week, my computer, everything was hacked all at once, and everything went down. And it happened, I think, 2 weeks before that.
You need to have a backup for your files. External.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, external.
Hard drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got to have about 20. I go through them. I was talking to you before about high strangeness. Now, anybody involved in the topic or had anything anomalous happen to them in their lives, they may have had something else other than UFOs happen. They may have seen a shadow. They may have had sleep paralysis. They may have had very strange coincidences they couldn't explain. It goes very deep. Objects move. Very weird energies in the house or in your head, or thoughts, or very strange things and feelings. You realize that's not my thought. What the hell, This phenomena seems to be, it's transient phenomena, which is not really good for us because it doesn't show up all the time when we expect it to. But at the same time, when it does show up, it does so without care or abandonment. So it just doesn't care if we see it or not, most of the time. But other times, they seem very quiet and protective. So sometimes they care if we see, and sometimes they don't. So it's hard to really lay them down into one basket and say, okay, they're all like this. Because maybe there's a theory that like the Greys and other supposed alien races out there are collect like a robotic collective who all work together, slave together for the common good or the common cause or purpose or whatever the case may be. Now, you couple that with these good and bad lights in the sky. What are they doing? Why are they chasing each other around and chasing each other away? And stuff like that out of our atmosphere. Very bizarre. So to me, that's reassuring. To me, that shows that something is looking after us.
Hey, thank you very
Thanks,
much
man.
again for your time, and
Thank you, sir, and goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much.
yeah, have a good night. Bye bye.
Yeah. Best of luck with your mission and your job, sir. Thank you. Best of luck with your mission and your job.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing very. Best of luck, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.